It's been a minute since it was like that. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry. Sorry for the delay, and sorry for running a little bit behind here. I've had a headache. I've had a little bit of a sinus headache all day. I think mixed with some caffeine headache. I drink a lot of water, but I intermix that water with Dr. Pepper, and I've been trying to cut the Dr. Pepper out, and it gave me a hellacious caffeine mixed with a sinus headache today. And I literally just got unheadacked about 30 minutes ago. So we are running a little slow, and I apologize for that. Welcome. This is the 122nd episode of the Political Spotlight. I am your host, Christopher H. Bilbrey. Here is the thumbnail. Whoa, that looks really blown up. I don't think it looks like that. Maybe it does. It shouldn't look like that in real life. It is. Oh, well, it's good enough. You get the point. It's half the Indiana state flag with a tear, and then half of the Delaware County logo. It should be a little further pulled back than that, so you could more closely determine what it is. Oh, well. Is it too late? That's the title of this episode. We're going to be talking about two specific things going on this week. Specifically specific about two issues going on around us this week. And they're both important. Well, I guess one of the issues is going on this week, and one of them is kind of a continuation of a fight. They're both continuations of fight, actually. The description, tonight's little description says, in this 22nd episode, I will be asking you, the audience, if you're giving up, if we're giving up. Are we giving up? Are we done? Is it too late? I personally don't think so. Matter of fact, that kind of thought actually just floors me. I believe, and I know strongly, I've seen it before, that the numbers are in our favor. There are only 7 Delaware County councilors. There's only 3 commissioners. There's only 9 city councilmen, or 7 city councilmen, or 5 city councilmen, or even 3 if you're in a town, or 5 if you're in a town. There's only 1 mayor. And if you put all of the mayors together, you know, you're talking less than 500, maybe a little bit more than that, less than 1,000. If you put all 92 commissioners together out of the 92 counties, 92 times 3, that's only 276. So there are only 276 commissioners in all of Indiana. If you look at how many state representatives there are only 100. If you look at how many state senators there are only 50. There's only 1 governor. There are plenty more of us. There are way more of us. How many Hoosiers? How many Hoosiers vote? Total number of voting Hoosiers? Let's see. Okay. How many Indiana citizens are registered to vote? Let's see here, statistically speaking. As of 2020, as of January 2nd, 2024, there are 4,700,000 674,413 registered voters. Listen to that number again. In the state of Indiana, there are 4,674,413 registered voters. Now, a very wildly low, piss poor amount of those people actually get out to vote. And that blows my mind. But even the small amount of people that get out to vote, even the amount of people that get out to vote, we still wildly outnumber any amount of elected officials there are. You could put all of the elected officials on one side. You put the Democrats, you put the Republicans, you put the two independents that there are, or sometimes they're vacant, sometimes they're not. Put them all together, put all of the commissioners, all of the counselors, all of the mayors, all of the auditors. There's only like one auditor in the state. You put them all together on one side, and there are still more than us. And now for the people that are here from Louisiana, and for the people here from Utah, and from the people that are here from Florida or from Colorado, you can do the same thing in your state. I don't know how many counties are in your state and what the numbers are of your individual, counselors and things like that. But you can do the same math. There's far more of us. Now, I've witnessed this in places. I witnessed this in Lapel. I witnessed this in Muncie. I've witnessed this in places. I witnessed this in Winchester once before. When the citizens want to stand up and show out, they will. Now, a lot of times it's over really weird things, or you get a lot of people that aren't doing it necessarily for the right reason. Maybe they're doing it just because they want to see the drama, which, okay, at least they fill in our numbers. Someone to me earlier today said, maybe we should stop asking for more people to vote. Maybe we should start asking for less people to vote. Less voters, more informed. Now, that might be a possibility. I don't know. It seems counterintuitive. I tend to believe that we can educate more and have more, but I guess I'm willing to work smarter, not harder. That's fine with me. Whichever way works. So we've got two things currently that I'm talking about that I'm going to use this example on. Okay. And let me get back here to where we were. There are two great examples coming up. And these examples are a fight in Delaware County Government concerning the solar. It's almost done, folks, but we've got one more big push. And a fight at the State House concerning House Bill 1338. And we, the people, I believe, can win both of those fights. Or we can lose both of those fights. We can win them or we can lose them. Let me get back here to where I was. Sorry. Hold on here. I want to make sure that I want to make sure I'm getting this out to the couple of different places that I know that it needs to be. Give me a second. I was in the middle of that and I started talking because it was more important. I have a couple more places that I need to push it. Hold on. And I'm going to tell you, there are a couple things on both of these both of these issues, there are a couple of important things that we all need to be considering, maybe information that we all need to know. Maybe there's some specific information that we don't all know. So I want to bring it to your attention. We also keep in mind this is the perfect year. And here's the thing, folks. We are in a perfect storm because this year is an election year, and in both of these specific issues, the people who are going to be affecting the votes, at least some of the people that are going to be affecting the votes, are up for re-election. So if they want back in power, then they should probably do as told. They should probably go with what the majority of us are saying. And I can't, for the life of me, believe that the majority of people out there are saying, yes, please take away more of our rights. We would love if you took away more of our rights. Now, Brandon brought something to my attention that I had not even mentioned. I'd not even mentioned this. I didn't really think about it. It was kind of like a bull. I saw red. I saw JD out here waving his stupid little outfit with a stupid little haircut, waving his stupid little hands. And Brandon reminded me of something that was very important that I cannot even believe that I didn't even I had not brought up. It shocked me. I cannot believe that that happened. I was blown away that did not this was not something that I had thought of. And I want to get here because I want to read specifically. Well, really what had happened was Admiral Eric had read something, and that caused Brandon to then say something. Ooh, and I need to put this in one more place. Solar crisis in Delaware County. I want to be sure to share this here. Up, please. Up. Okay. So Admiral Eric had shared my post about Prescott. He had sent that someplace, and I need to try to find where I can find it. I was looking at it earlier, and it started. Oh, here we go. Yeah, right here. So Eric Lewis had said this. He said, "This is my personal viewpoint, and I hope he's okay with me sharing this. I did not ask him ahead of time. This is my personal viewpoint. This is what happens every time there is a far-leaning supermajority political system, regardless which way it is leaning. In our case, it is leaning far right without an elected voice of dissent to bring about balance. That leaves we, the people, to cause the scales to balance. Unfortunately, if our supermajority gets their way, many of us will be trying to bring balance from within jail cells, simply for redressing our elected officials, even when done so respectfully. We will prevail, as there is already a great deal of federal case law on the subject that stands in our favor. but I fear many will suffer greatly in the interim. Totalitarianism has taken a hold in Indiana politics and is quickly turning into outright fascism. History proves where that ends up. I and many others have the video and audio to prove Mayor Bob McCoy of Winchester, Indiana, lied and maliciously engaged in slander against anyone who has ever spoken up to redress Bob's little kingdom or ran for office in his incumbent team against his incumbent team. In his testimony to the Indiana House Committee, in an effort to advance this horrid bill, 1338, Bob had issues with one person who was routinely disrespectful and or inappropriate during public comment. Which was the public comment time after business of the council had concluded. No business would have at that point been interrupted. That person is no longer here and is no longer an issue. Matter of fact, the person was no longer even an issue at the time of Bob's testimony. And Bob used that person not being here as kind of in a way that wasn't really truthful. I think it made it seem like he's not here maybe because of all of this. He didn't say on unrelated charges or yada, 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 yada. He left that part out, mind you. There was one meeting in December 22 when citizens came out in droves to speak in protest of Bob's immoral attempt to suppress free speech. Even at that meeting, the council concluded its business without much. I'm even going to add that because he didn't. There was a little bit of interruption, but nothing that would have stopped the business from getting done. Nothing that doesn't happen at the city of Muncie, nothing that doesn't happen in Indianapolis at any other council meeting any day of the week. No one banged Bob's gavel, his ignorantly overlarged, oversized, heavy, and out of control gavel, other than Bob. Oh, I'm glad you're here, Eric. I'm using your words. I didn't ask you ahead of time, so I'm glad you're here. Your punishment is I'm using your words without asking your approval. I did credit you, but I am using your words. No one banged Bob's gavel. One person posed with Bob's gavel for a photo op, but with the police officer standing 5 feet away from him. The police officer did not say, hey, come down here, get off that, stop, you can't do that. Matter of fact, I spoke up while doing nothing wrong, just standing there and taking observation of what was going on. I asked the police officers, are you okay with what's going on? The officer said, yeah, I don't see anything wrong here. You guys have 15 more minutes, though, and I'm running you out of here. Yeah, Joey, they did. They did smile. You're right. Let me tell you, I stood and talked to them. We talked. We talked about how wrong they were being, how wrong the council and everyone was doing. We were saying that if they would just have stood in there and talked and let us talk and let the people talk, that nothing would have happened. There would have been no issue. There was no reason to run out. Burke and Barndollar were there. Absolutely. And mind you, there were 3 state troopers outside. Three troopers were outside. They never even came in. No one stormed the meeting. No one except Bob got out of hand. And if you want to talk about someone storming anywhere, Bob stormed down from his perch and out the door, almost knocking me over. I mean, he wouldn't have knocked me over. He would have ran up against me and fell back. But I had to tell him not to touch me. Don't touch me, as he stormed past me. Those are my words, not Eric's. The police chief, 2 local officers, 3 state troopers were present for the meeting and refused to remove or arrest anyone attending, even with Bob and the city attorney's demands, because no one broke any law, not even disorderly conduct. Yes, Joey, that's true. So that was Admiral Eric's words as he shared my post. And then Brandon wrote something down below, and I cannot even believe that I've not used this yet. I've not used this in anybody that I've talked to. This is mind-boggling to me. I guess it's because I saw full steam ahead. I wasn't even looking backwards. Thank God I've got good people around us, you know. Brandon says, remember that this very council, this very government that is pushing JD, that's pushing for this bill to silence critics, that's the same lawsuit. Excuse me. I'm getting ahead of myself now. That's the same council that lost a lawsuit to yours truly because they violated my First Amendment rights in November of 2017. November 2017, folks, that wasn't that long ago. It's 2024, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. 7 years ago. Less than 2 political terms. Less than 2 political terms. They conspired ahead of time. To silence me. They had me arrested by the lead law enforcement officer of their department, the chief of police. What? Something's going on there. I'm not reading. Oh, yeah. Give me just a second. I'm going to come back to that, too. I want to talk about that because I don't think I've hit on that hard enough, and that really pisses me off. We'll come back to that. They conspired to have me arrested out in the hallway for daring to speak out. Now, just to be clear, if you want to hear I think I finally got rid of it. Hold on, I can do it like this. Give me 1 second. Here we go. Here we go. You're out of order. This whole place is out of order. This is a joke. Let me turn that up a little bit for you here. You're out of order. This whole place is out of order. This is a joke. Everybody, time that real quick. I don't know if you have a long enough stopwatch to time it, but just try to time it. Let's go. We'll just say 1 Mississippi, 2 Miss. Oh, Kate's going to time it for me. Here we go. Ready? I'm going to say 1, 2, 3, play. 1, 2, 3, play. You're out of order. This whole place is out of order. This is a joke.
2.84 seconds.
That's really funny that you say that, because I'm pretty sure in the prosecutor's memo, I think he said it was 2.9. So that's really damn close. So you said it was 2.84 seconds?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you very much. 2.84 seconds. Now listen one last time. You're out of order. This whole place is out of order. This is a joke. You're out of order. This whole place is out of order. This is a joke. I didn't curse. I wasn't violent. I don't know if you could say that I was screaming. I mean, I certainly, we had to turn the volume up. I'm recording that. So that's being recorded on my person. That's being recorded with my phone. I was wearing a hoodie and the phone was inside my hoodie. So it was, muffled because of, my body, and muffled because of, the fabric, but it wasn't like, 10 feet away from me or anything crazy. That was on my body. And so I wasn't yelling, you could hear that. They, because of that, threw me up against a wall, twisted my arms behind my back to kind of teach me a lesson. Oh, here you go. Okay. And they arrested me in the hallway for daring to speak out against them. On the way out of the room, some of those council members, mind you, are still on the current council and already don't have an issue with violating the First Amendment. They're still there. If they're in the building. Lisa Friend was on the council. Who's still there? Who's the council people in Winchester?
I think Lisa's the only one that's still there.
Oh man, is that really? Well, Lisa and Meeks is still there.
Lisa and Meeks are still there. Tom Sells was there, but he's gone now.
He's gone now, yeah.
You had
Mo Lennington, he's gone.
Mo's gone.
Missy Williams, she's gone, but now in the county, not the city, so she's not gone enough.
Right. She was there? Yeah. Who was the other one?
Mo Lennington. Dave Furby, he's gone in another direction.
Yeah, he passed.
But he wasn't even part of the problem. He was a good guy.
Right.
Joan Ashley says not really District 4. That's the only one, and she don't even show up.
That's true.
That's true. But you get the point. That's the overall point. Oh, unfortunately, they will be able to tase you. Yeah, right. Yeah, who knows? I mean, it would be horrible. Could imagine. I mean, we're just not too far away from maybe being unalived. Because how dare you speak against them? Unalive you. I personally believe Bob has moved past an anxiety disorder and into paranoid schizophrenia. I think in the wrong situation, he could be dangerous. Yes! He could be. He very much could be. I am all for the Second Amendment. But I question that. The only thing that keeps me happy with Bob is the thought that I don't know that he could put a magazine up into a gun that already had a bullet in the pipe. I don't know that he's got enough oomph behind him to get it in there. And I think he would be too afraid to rack that back. So I'm pretty sure that he's carrying empty. That's my only hope. Would give you enough time to get the hell out of Dodge because he's trying to get it racked back and he's cutting his fingers all up. I don't know. That's my whole I tell myself that to sleep better at night. That being said, I don't run after Bob, generally speaking. You know, I only am talking to him in council meetings. Now I did follow him to his car on the county property or on city property, but that's only because he was talking to me. We were engaging in conversation as he was walking away. But I would never go to his house or do other crazy things like that. But I just don't. Here's the thing. The bottom line of it is this. The bottom line is this. At the end of the day, the craziest thing that I heard about any of this is the fact that Bob drew a comparison between a city council meeting in Winchester, Indiana on December 5th, 2022 and January 6th, 2021. He actually, and that's what he was doing, right? Because he in his speech he said, I don't want to draw a comparison between. Then don't bring it up. Don't be that stupid, because that's exactly what you did. Now again. There's lots of people that have wildly different beliefs of what happened on January 6th. But let's be real here. No matter where you fall on that debate, nothing that happened or was even anywhere close to happened in that meeting on December 5th. But yet Bob, an elected official, stood in a room full of other elected officials to weave a lie in an attempt to create fear and craziness. Now, I want to tell you, in talking to Brandon and talking to other people, everyone keeps saying like it sounds like this is pretty much a done deal. You know, that's how we believe that. We believe that they're going to do, you know, because you heard around the room in that committee meeting, and if you haven't heard it, go back and watch our episode 120. It's called "How Do You Spell Unconstitutional?" I spell it HB 11 or 1338. How you spell unconstitutional? I spell it JDPR. You know, okay, you got the point? All right. So the point of the matter here is, if you have not heard that and you want to see it, go back and watch that in that show. Share the shit out of that show. I don't know. What man? Which one? I don't know, Steve. That's been a minute ago. I forget who. You'll have to tell me more about the situation. I can't remember what the deal was. Because everybody would have known you. I mean, obviously, anyone that you were dealing with would have. I'm trying to think who that would have been. I don't know. I can't think of who that was. Um,
Needs to become a rallying cry,
what?
like Spartacus. I am Bilbrey. No, I am
Yeah,
Bilbrey.
right. Maybe we need to get that on a shirt. We can put that on a shirt with with all my heads. Leave like one blink in the middle. Sproles was saying that at the bank. Yeah, isn't that crazy? And see, everybody already thinks it. Sproles was saying that at the bank. That's not what Steve was referring to, however, but I know what Steve's talking about, but I can't think of who it was. I can't think of who it was. Stand by 1 second. Anyways, everyone keeps talking to me about how they think that this is a lost cause. That that makes me laugh. Hold on a second. Let me see if I can find this. I just showed this to Kate the other day. I don't know if I can still find it or not. Uh, okay, hold on here. Wow. Talk about going back in history. Oh. We're close here. Um, wow. Okay, well, I'm unable to find it. Anyways, I was trying to find something that one of you said something that made me think it made me think of something else. But okay, so what the point of this, the point of where I was going with this is the everyone keeps talking about how like, oh, this is, this is too late. We're too late. I don't know that we're going to be able to do anything. where we're in trouble. And I I just get to thinking that I I believe that is not true. And I'll tell you why I believe that it's not true, and I'll tell you why I think that we can do something about it. So, some of you may not know, or it's just not known yet, that in this election cycle that we currently have, okay, all 100 of the state representatives are currently up for reelection. All 100 of them. So every single one of the state representatives are up for reelection. And listen to me, it takes those state representatives to make this law get passed. All right? That's the next step. It goes to the full House, and they vote on it, and then it kicks over to the Senate, and then there's 50 senators, and it goes to committee there, and they vote on it. Then it goes to the full Senate, and then it kicks back. And so that's what we've got to do. All right. Now listen, they're going to vote on this before any election. This is going to be voted on and passed, or it's going to be voted on and it's failed. And so we have business to do right now. We need to be calling or texting or emailing them. Now I want to show you an example of what I've been reaching out to them. Now, yesterday I called JD Prescott 4 times. No, it was the day before I called him 4 times. On Friday, I called him 4 times from 4 different numbers, and he did not answer one of them. Did not answer one of them. On Saturday, I called him from my personal phone number, and I left a message. I said, "Hello, JD Prescott. This is Christopher Bilbrey. I have a question. It's about a question from your district, and I expect an answer back from you." And he called me back. But I happened to miss the phone call when he called. So I called him straight back, and he didn't answer. So we're now playing phone tag. And my policy is I won't call on Sunday. So I don't call on Sundays. So I will call him back tomorrow, and I will try and I will touch base with him. Eric Lewis says these modern politicians would not have made it through the 60s and 70s. Today's political activists are mild compared to back then. They need to pick up a history book from pre-1994. That is probably the single best comment of the night. I absolutely agree with that. I mean, these people are being hurt by words. Liar, you called me today during my holy hour. Yeah, I guess that's hilarious. He was just getting ready to take another drink of that holy water. I meant, wait a minute. Was that Coors Light? What's your beer of choice there, Ryan? So anyhow, yeah, I don't know, but I want to read you this, and then we're going to go on to the Delaware County stuff because we've got a really big fight this coming up week. And so I want to explain to you here what I did. I reached out to another representative. I reached out to a couple, but I posted on Corey Criswell's wall, and I'm not going to show this because give me 1 second. I did the wrong thing. I'm going to fix it here real quick. I posted this on his personal wall. We're friends. So I posted it on his personal wall. And his personal wall has pictures of children, and so I'm not gonna do that. And unfortunately, like a lot of elected officials, he doesn't have a way to comment. You can't just comment and post, and of course that's a bunch of bullshit, but I'll comment under one of his comments and then I'll show you guys. Okay. Up here. Okay. Now I can show you. Because I put this on his personal wall, so he'll definitely be able to see it. But I also put it on his I also have put this on now his official wall, and so now it's in both places. So Corey Criswell, State Representative, District 54, for immediate release. Criswell files for re-election for State Representative. Henry County native, looks to continue representing District 54. Yada, yada, yada. Great. Love it. Wonderful. Okay, there he is. Here he is. There he is. Here he is. Here he is. Here he is. Okay. And so I have posted, hey, Corey, we need to talk about this ignorant House Bill 1338 that a colleague of yours, J.D. Prescott, is putting forward. While I absolutely agree that town, city, county council business must be able to be completed and the level of professionalism should always be the goal, JD's mindless bill is more about his fear and the fear of his friends in local government of being held accountable. House Bill 1338 must not be supported and it must not become state law. You guys, the Indiana General Assembly, are currently in session for a short season, but instead of taking on real issues that would benefit, help, or protect the citizens of Indiana, we have elected public officials like Prescott that are spending their limited time this session working on legislation to attempt to insulate and protect other elected officials. House Bill 1338 is an unconstitutional bit of legislation designed to silence citizens and deny them of their rights to redress their local government. House Bill 1338 would allow local governments to adopt rules or policies dictating behavior in meetings and would allow the silencing, removal, and possible criminal trespass of citizens trying to inform local government of their opinions and feelings regarding local government actions. These rules or policies are not law, but this bill would give them the force of law. This is also just a start. Who knows how far this wildly sensitive, massively insecure and horribly petulant Representative Prescott will go. Laws are already in place that speak to everything he's attempting to stop. If someone breaks the law or breaks a law, it should be dealt with. We do not need to give untrained elected officials the ability to turn themselves into law enforcement officials through policy. Call me sometime this coming week so we can talk further about this. I'm going to be going at this hard during this session. And then depending on what happens in session, this could be a very tough election season. As far as I'm concerned, anyone willing to put their name behind unconstitutional acts, simply put, are the enemy. Sadly, state representatives Chris Campbell, Reagan Hatcher, Doug Miller, Jim Pressel, Karen Engelman, David Abbott, Jack Jordan, Joanna King, Cindy Ledbetter, Michael Karakoff, and Timothy O'Brien have already put themselves in that category because they've already voted yes while voting in committee. Let's hope JD's fear of citizens redressing their government doesn't take too many people down with him. For more on this, check out the following link, and I shared him that link. So we'll see if he, in fact, listens to this, if he, in fact, gives me a call. I've never had an issue with Corey, really, so far. He does kind of scare me a little bit in the fact that I believe that he is good friends with JD and that he kind of watches what JD does. So that scares me a little bit, but time will tell. We will see. So listen, folks, it's not hard. It is not hard for you to Google Indiana state representatives, Indiana State General Assembly, and go down and look in your district. Pull up the district map, find out where you're at, find out who is your district representative, and find out all of the districts around you and call those people, email those people, look them up on social media, look them up on Facebook, look them up on Twitter. Send them a message saying, I don't like this. If you need help of what to say, contact me. I will help you. I can give you a template that you can just fill in the blank. Call them whatever you want to do. They are hard to communicate with, but we've got to send them the message that you guys are going to vote on this, and then you're going to want votes. So we've got them where we want them because they can vote for this. But then we just simply unelect every single one of the bastards that does that. But we've got to be willing to work together. All right, moving on. Delaware County. I want to talk about Delaware County. Delaware County this coming Tuesday will have a county council meeting. And in that meeting, they will absolutely be voting or talking about this tax abatement bill. This tax abatement, and that's not a bill, this tax abatement situation with solar energy. Okay? We, as a community here, need to do whatever we can to show up to that meeting. Because they've already been playing games. The games have already happened long before all of this. Long before all of this, okay? Jessica Piper is the president of the council, and she is scared to death. She is scared to death to have her hands anywhere near this. She's scared to death to be anywhere a part of this. She does not want to be involved with this in the least bit. She doesn't want to let people speak. Thank God her colleagues are saying no, people need to speak. I don't think her colleagues are going to go for that. She's wanting to protect herself. She's wanting to protect the commissioners. The commissioners, folks, have pushed through this economic development agreement that is just totally out of control. It's off the wall. To me, it's borderline like, I don't know how they would even have the ability or the right to do what they've done. It seems asinine that the commissioners would do what they've done. And I'm going to tell you, one of two things has happened. One of two things has happened, and neither one of them is good. The solar company has written this agreement, and the commissioners either didn't read this and they let themselves be bamboozled by their attorney, which is not good because he is not elected and he shouldn't be making those laws and they should be reading these. Or they were fully aware and in on it, which is not good. I am telling you beyond a shadow of a doubt that what is going to come out Tuesday, again, we're sitting in a really good spot because two of these commissioners are up for re-election this year. And you can seriously listen to what happens this coming Tuesday, hear all of the fallout from it, and then you can make a decision not to send James King back as the District 1 commissioner because he had a part in this. And when people say, well, this agreement was too long, it was so long, it was 33 pages. All right. I expect the commissioner's attorney to read that thing front to back and to know it inside and out. And I expect him to tell the commissioners what to do that benefits the county citizens above and beyond anybody. Not what's better for the solar company, not what's better for the commissioners, but what's better for the citizens. And if he's not doing that, then Mr. Brook needs to go. And if the commissioners aren't reading this document, the commissioners should be able to read this front and back, middle to out, and in German, Italian, French, and Aramaic. They should be able to read this thing in any language that you ask them. I'm being facetious, but they should know this inside and out. And if they seriously pass this with Section 11 in there stating that the county has to pay no matter what we do, if they tied the county's hands in that way, then to hell with them, and they cannot be reelected.
Do you have that document that you could read that to us, please?
I do. What was the last part of what you said?
Could you read it to us, Section 11?
I can.
It is not that terribly long, but it's mind-boggling.
It is not. I'm going to send it to you. Tomorrow we're going to go through the whole thing, but I will read this to you now. What I'm going to do, Kate, I'm going to send this to you. I sent you Section 11. Can you put that up? And then I'm also going to send the whole thing. Well, we'll do that tomorrow. But I just sent you Section 11. So I want you guys to be able to hear this. This is an economic development agreement. You would think that in an agreement that you would want what's best for both groups, right? You would think that you would want what's, in an agreement. If you and I are entering into an agreement, we both should be getting something out of it. It's like you come to me. This is what happened in this agreement. You come to me and say, "Hey, I want to enter into this agreement with you. I'll type up the agreement and we'll be good." And I'm like, "Okay." And I sign off on it. Well, then at the end of the day, we find out that the agreement that you typed up that I didn't read, that I was careless on, benefits you solely and ties my hands. Well, that's not an agreement. This is mind numbing. All right, here's the section 11, and it's hard to see, but I'll read it to you and we'll go from there. Denial, recession, termination. So long as the owner has not been determined to have failed to substantially comply with the statement of benefits pursuant to Indiana Code, or as may be finally determined under appeal process set forth therein, in the event any materially complete, valid, and timely claim for deduction is made by or on behalf of the owner and subsequently disallowed, rescinded, canceled, or modified by the council, then owner may terminate its obligation as described below, and upon giving the written termination notice described below, owner and or such other entity or entities who are legally obligated to pay property taxes in connection with the project as their interest may appear shall be entitled to an equal credit against it or its future installments of taxes and or amount of equal to that proportion of the payment regarding which tax savings have not been realized prior to the effective date of such disallowance, recession, cancellation, or modification. Such credit shall be charged against the county's portion of such installment of property taxes. Nothing in this agreement shall be construed as creating any obligations by owner to proceed with the project or build any facility in connection herewith, provided that owner uses commercially reasonable efforts to timely file its annual applications for the abatement deductions. Owner's obligation to make the payment hereto is expressly conditioned upon such deduction applications having been finally approved in full. If the payment would otherwise be due and payable, but it's delayed hereunder due to the pendency, reduction, or denial of any deductions applied for by owner, such payments shall become payable within 10 business days of the date the owner receives the written notice that its claim deduction application has been approved in full, or the passage of the deadline for alteration or denial of the deduction under Indiana Code with no such action taken thereon, whichever occurs first. Notwithstanding anything to the contrary contained herein, the commissioners acknowledge an investment by the owner in the project of less than $155 million, but greater than or equal to $155 million, shall not be considered a failure of owner to substantially comply with the statement of benefits. In the event any materially materially complete, valid, timely claim for deduction is made by or on behalf of the owner and subsequently disallowed, rescinded, canceled, or modified, owner may terminate its obligation to make any remaining installments of the payment hereunder by providing written notice of the same to the council, provided that as of the effective date of such notice, owner shall waive any further rights to the abatement. Now, I know that is a lot of word salad and that is a lot of legalese, but they are using this to essentially say that the county has entered into this agreement that we will fully go over tomorrow. that they have fully entered into this, and they are stating that if the county did not allow the abatement, or, and I don't know how they would have known this back in July of 2021 when this was signed, if the council would rescind the abatement, which they can do, but amazingly has never been done in the state of Indiana. It can happen, but it's never been done. So it's amazing that they put that in there, but they're just being that's how, certain they are that they're going to get over on us, that then the county is responsible for that, and we would have to pay $5.6 million to the company or for this. So they've got our hands tied.
The county doesn't necessarily pay that, but whatever property tax payments the company would be making, would go against that debt.
Yeah, right.
So forget about collecting any property taxes from them.
That's what that would be. Yes, essentially, it would be harmful it would be harmful in that amount to the county.
Yeah,
it would be detrimental.
Yeah, so they get the abatement, whether they get the abatement or they just say you didn't give us the abatement, so we're not paying our taxes.
Yeah. Well, so you read this the other day. What did you think about that?
I'm still trying to figure out how the commissioners did not notice this.
Well, you read the one in Randolph County, and the one in Randolph County was done pretty much the same way. That the company put it forward, and it was beneficial to the county all the way. But they didn't even have anything like this crazy in the Randolph County.
No, I mean they had stupid 50-foot setbacks. No limits on the amount of property. I mean, it was a cherry deal for them.
Yeah.
But I don't remember reading anything like that in this. How do you not see that? You are on the hook. Yeah. You let them write you a solar ordinance that put you on the hook for $5.6 million worth of property taxes.
Yeah.
Whether you give them the abatement or not.
Yeah. And it's not like this was a 500-page document and this was on page 287. This is a 33-page document, of which 4 of those pages are maps.
No, this isn't the tax abatement agreement. This is the economic agreement between the two.
This is and so remember, the attorney said they go hand in hand.
Then there's the solar ordinance, and then there's the tax abatement agreement. So there's like 18 different things.
Yeah. But this is page 6 of that. Jackie, I will send you the whole document, and you can read it ahead of time. We're going to talk about it tomorrow in full. I'm just getting you guys ready. But I'm teasing you guys out because I'm telling you, I am going to be knocking this hard and going at this hard over the next long time. I'm telling you guys, what's coming to my mind out of this is, number one, James King needs to go. James King needs to go. Oh, yeah, that's right on, Clinton. None of these people. James King needs to go. That's just a certain. Shannon Henry needs to go, but he's not up for re-election this time. So Sherry Riggin is. And look, I mean, I don't blame her for this. She should have said something. So because she didn't, she needs to go too, in my opinion. But James King, if we get rid of James King, it'll be doing something. But that's just the commissioners. I'm telling you, Jessica Piper needs to go. We must say no more cowardly governing. Unelect Jessica Piper Tuesday, May 7th. I'm going to start making this for all of these people. I'm going to start making this type of thing for all of them. But I'm telling you, Jessica Piper needs to go. James King needs to go. John Brook needs to go. He's the county attorney, the commissioner's attorney, and the council attorney, Ben Freeman, needs to go. But we have a big meeting coming up Tuesday. It will be live streamed right here. And there are more of us in Delaware County than them. So we need to be able to send them packing. Is it too late? You people of Delaware County? Are you packing it in? Are you done? I know. That's the thing. That's the thing. Sherry probably won't even have an opponent. That sucks. Clinton says, come do a show at the crib. We'll definitely have to talk about that. That would be very interesting. Yes. So, listen, that's, it's too late for me. You all are welcome to come and see what it looks like. I'll come out. I'll get a hold of you and do that. I'll come out there and do that. That would be a good deal, Clinton. Get a day when the snow melts and it's nice enough outside and kind of come out. That would be an interesting little deal. All right, so we're going to get off here. We're going to go a little early tonight, but we will be back tomorrow. We'll be back the rest of this week. We've got a lot of stuff to cover. We will be doing a big show, and I'll go through all of those pages of the economic development before Tuesday. Monday's going to be a big show. We got Tuesday's meeting. It will be live streamed here, and we'll be able to talk about it all. Keep in mind, folks, we can beat these people at their own game. There's more of us than there are of them. There are more of us than there are of them. All right. God bless each and every one of you. Thank you all for being here. We will see you tomorrow night right back here at 9 p.m. Eastern. Take care. God bless. Have a great start to your week. Goodbye.